Hello viewers, welcome back to yet another episode of FIDA Uganda, profiling the most empowering and exciting women who are members of FIDA Uganda. Today with me is a woman who has done unimaginable things. She's a commissioner with the Human Rights Commission, a member of FIDA Uganda, and we are yet to learn more about what she has done, her journey, her challenges, to where she is now. This is all in commemoration of the 16 days of activism that we're looking at how women can be empowered and gender equality in general. So please welcome Dr. Patricia Achan Okiria.
I'm Patricia Achan Okiria, a commission member here. I am just about a year and some months old in the Uganda Human Rights Commission. I previously worked with the Ministry of Works and Transport as their policy and legal advisor. And I also worked with the Directorate for Ethics and Integrity under Office of the President as a principal legal officer, and I rose to the ranks of director, acting director, legal services. I also worked with the commission before. The Uganda Human Rights Commission was my first job as a young lawyer who had graduated from law school, and I worked from the rank of volunteer, and I rose through the ranks to senior human rights officer. So that is me. I'm married to one Mr. Okiria, John Vincent, and I have got 4 children, 1 daughter and 3 boys. So that is me.
Oh,
yes.
That's amazing. So what was your first paying job?
My first paying job was the Uganda Human Rights Commission. And I started working with the Uganda Human Rights Commission in 2000. From the time I graduated at law school, yes. I first joined as an intern, and then later on I got to do my clerkship at the commission. Then I became a volunteer. I joined as an intern, and I really enjoyed my work at the commission. And when the internship ended, I told the chairperson, Madam Margaret Sekaja, I said, you know what, I'm not about to leave. Help me. Let me continue working for no pay, because I was really enjoying the human rights work. Yes, it was quite interesting. But previously, the moment I joined law school, my mother was working with FIDA Uganda as the director for research, training, and documentation. So I got inspired to join FIDA as well. And then I began attending meetings as a young lawyer. I inspired many other law students from law school to come and attend FIDA meetings, to attend the interesting sessions, the different trainings on thematic areas, and sometimes would sit in with the legal officers and attend to clients and learn how to write legal briefs and opinions. And it was very, very interesting. Wow. I started admiring the work of a lawyer then. So it was very, very interesting to work with FIDA, and then later on work with the Uganda Human Rights Commission, because the skills I picked from FIDA are what I implemented when I got to the commission. And the commission looked at me as a star, and I did not take long as a volunteer. Before I knew it, I was appointed as a research assistant. Wow. Yes, I worked as a research assistant. My first duty station was Gulu, and that was the time of the insurgency. Yeah. It was quite challenging dealing with human rights during insurgency, but nevertheless, I went and worked, and later on I got redeployed at the headquarters.
Wow. Yes. So what I'm getting from you is the beginning was FIDA that inspired you, yes, and you were seen as a star that, yes, made you raise to these ranks to, yes, where you are right now. That's amazing. So at the Human Rights Commission as your first job, what is the thing you remember most?
The thing I remember most was while I was working at the commission as a personal assistant to the chairperson, I still had a strong link with FIDA. And sometimes FIDA would invite me to go and disseminate laws to women, talking about inheritance rights, property rights, women's rights. And sometimes I would get permission and go. But the most interesting time was when I actually told a lie to my boss. I told a lie to my boss, Madam Sekaja, and I told her, I'm not feeling well, I'm not. And then I traveled to Kumi, and I was training women about inheritance, how to make a will, and I was captioned in a top newspaper. And when I got back, the chairperson said, hey, so Patricia, you can teach in Ateso. Well, she did not. I thought she was going to tell me, hey, were you really sick or you were teaching? But I actually stepped out to go and teach the women. So I had this passion of women's rights.
So what's the most exciting part of your job here at the Uganda Human Rights Commission?
Well, like a new entrant in the commission, it's exciting to see people getting redress. When I preside over tribunals and write decisions, and I see victims of human rights violations getting redress, it is very exciting because you know in your heart of hearts that you have helped someone.
That's exciting. So who inspires you?
Well, I tap my inspiration from a number of people. At law school, we had a patron of the fellowship, of the Faculty of Law Christian Fellowship, who was then my lecturer, Justice Lillian Ekirikubinza. By then she was not a judge, but she was very inspiring, very down to earth. And each time I interacted with her, I was like, God, I think I need to be like this lady, because I like the way she handled the students. I like the down to earth examples she used. And then another person who inspires me is my mother. I think I should have started with my mother, because right from childhood, you see this person mentoring you, once in a while using the carrot and the stick also, and training you to be a responsible person.
What originally got you interested in your current field of work?
What inspired me is having to help people. I think that is what really pushed me, propelled me in place.
Perfect. So does your job make you feel happy and fulfilled?
Yes, the job is exciting to do, interesting with new challenges, but also there are other things which are very exciting. My passion is actually out there in teaching young lawyers, in training and mentoring people, impacting skills. Yes.
So what's the career highlight you're most proud of? If you look at your journey and where you started to where you are now, what's that highlight you're proud of?
What I would see as a career highlight is when we were given the responsibility to do the airline. Because out there, people were saying, but government of Uganda, you have failed to regulate borders. How are you going to do the airline? You know, just like if you were a student of the Bible, there are Sanballat. When Nehemiah set up to build the walls of Jerusalem, there are people who critiqued him and say, who are you? These walls. He looked around and reviewed and began actually the construction and was able to build. So I had that same attitude. I said, well, there are criticisms out there, but let's take this challenge as an opportunity to showcase that we can be able to do this. Yes. So eventually we began on the airline. It had so many challenges. When we would sit with Airbus today, Boeing would come the following day and another company also comes. It was very, very challenging. And they would all come from State House. They would start from State House, then they come the Ministry of Works. And then when they come the Ministry of Works, it's me supposed to meet them and organize, a session with them. And so it was very, very challenging to begin reviewing the advantages of this company over the other, looking at details like fuel efficiency, and yet you're not an engineer. But of course, I had a team of people I was working with. And eventually, when we got to sign the MOU to purchase this aircraft, it was very exciting. I remember my PS took me to Farnborough in London, said, because you have been so much into this, you are not going to sign, but you will witness the signing. So I was one of those standing around while they signed. And I was very, very excited. And we eventually got to receive the first two and later on two. And now I believe that other two coming. There is an Airbus 330 Neo coming. So I see that as a very, very big plus. Why? Because it was a project that began amid its challenges.
So what type of role do you want to take on after this one?
After this one, I think I would be happy to be appointed a judge of the Court of Appeal.
Oh, let me say that.
A judge of the Court of Appeal. Why? Because my current position is at the level of judge of the High Court.
Wow.
Yes. So I am looking forward to getting there.
Oh,
but you never know what God has, because you can have your plans, but He has better plans for us. Yes. So we should always be optimistic that, we can make something better. Yes.
Wow. Praying for you. All the best.
Thank you.
So what
Thank
would your 10-year-old self react to what you do now?
Well, if you brought the 10-year-old Patricia now, that Patricia will not believe. Because the 10-year-old, like I said, wanted to be a mother. But now here you have someone who is a doctor, a doctor-in-law and a commissioner. The other one was a mother who was making babies with a BI and making balls with a BI. Yes.
And they should be proud.
Yes, and that Patricia liked to help. Yes, would run to Sunday school to pick the drums, to help. But this Patricia also is a helper though. Yes, so.
Wow, she would be the proudest Patricia.
Yes.
So what's something you find challenging about your work currently?
At the moment, what do I find challenging? The whole thing about dealing with dishonesty and corruption. Even at our places of work, like when we review complaints, we find that there are some complainants who are dishonest. Someone who cooks up a story and comes and tells lies. And then midway, you have spent a lot of money investigating a complaint, and then later on you discover it was based on lies, on falsehood. So I think we need to encourage people to have integrity out there. Integrity, how to be truthful, so that we don't waste money. Because when you waste money conducting an investigation, or you get to a point where you are now doing a formal hearing, a tribunal hearing, and you discover complainant X told a lie, at the point you're cross-examining and re-examining in court, it becomes quite disturbing, because you would have spent money to facilitate a commissioner to go to a region to hear, you pay per diem, to facilitate the investigators to investigate that case, you're paying for their per diem and facilitation and things like that. So it becomes very, very costly. Yes.
And
so for me, yes.
The other person who would have deserved it.
For me, I think people need to be truthful. People need to be down to earth. People need to have integrity. Yes.
That is really key. Integrity is key for everything you do. So what's your biggest fear as Patricia?
Do I have any? Well, usually I don't look at it from that perspective, because when there's something you're scared about or you have a fear, you should look at the opportunity behind it. Like we have just talked about the challenge. When something is very challenging, it should propel you to think out of the box. Yes. So for me, well, every fear comes with an opportunity to flourish. For instance, now the institution, the commission here, we lost our chairman about a year ago, and we've not gotten a replacement. And that means that we do not have tribunals. My fear has been that, well, the thing of the backlog, we have investigated cases, they are set down for hearing, and we do not have a chair. That means we don't have quorum. We cannot go on to hear those tribunals. It has been a fear, but there is an opportunity. I know anytime now, the head of state is going to appoint a chairperson. He's going to appoint a chairperson for the commission. And even if we have backlog, we can work round the clock and fight that backlog. To make sure we dispose of at first. That's why I was saying I think every fear should be taken as an opportunity. Yes.
So what skill would you like to improve on amongst the skills that you have? Which one do you think that needs an amp?
Well, I think that's a difficult one, because I cannot say that I have all the skills, because every day is a learning experience. I have been learning and even doing short courses. Like recently I was doing one on women and health. I want to know more about women and health, women and HIV/AIDS, gender-based violence, and yes. So I think it's important for us to have knowledge on a diversity of issues. Yes, not only law, but we need to be cross-cutting. to be able to fit in every arena in life. Yes.
So what do you think was your worst job, and how did you overcome it?
I'm not so sure whether I've had a worst job. My jobs have been very good jobs. Yes, like I worked with FIDA, as I told you. I had challenges there, but there are opportunities to learn. And then I worked with the Uganda Human Rights Commission and moved to Ethics and Integrity, went to Ministry of Works and Transport, and came back to the commission as a commission member. I would not say there was any worst job, because they are all very good jobs. But within the job, there have been challenges.
An amazing session.
And even at the commission here, as a commission member, I keep asking myself, hey, what will the commission miss if tomorrow I'm not here?
Wow.
And then I identify what is it that the commission will miss and measure on those. They will miss the skills. They will miss these research skills, these writing skills. Yes.
So what I've learned from you basically, take that grapevine, prove to people what they presume you are, and then make the best out of it. Then one other thing I've learned from you is, as a woman, yes, people will talk, but prove and let the results speak for themselves. That's a very good takeaway.
Yes, and maybe something I didn't say is women gossip. Women gossip. We have positive attributes, but women can gossip. The challenges I've had at my different positions have been women. Yes, the fellow women who should be encouraging me and propelling me are the ones who
pulling you down.
But nevertheless, like I said, you take every challenge as an opportunity to rise up and prove that you can be better. Sure. If they are speaking negativity, prove that you can turn those negatives into positives. Yes, I think it's very important.
Wow. I think that's a good one. Turn negativity into positivity. Women should not pull each other down, but propel each other up to be great.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your time, Dr.
You're
Patricia.
welcome.
I've enjoyed this conversation and really learned a lot from your discussion.
Thank you. Thank you for making me part of this. Yeah. I feel honored. And now that you have come, it's a reminder to me to come and update.
Come back home.
To come back home, yes. My membership should be active. Yes.
And any message you have for the young women?
Yes, for the young women out there, I think it's important to come out, to use their talents, because everybody has talents, everybody has skills. It's important for us to put those skills to use. There are people who sit on their skills, but when you come out and use those skills, you find that you will have impact. Take every opportunity to speak out. Take every opportunity to encourage a girl child out there, to encourage a fellow woman out there, to pull their hands so that together we move to greater heights. Yes. And from a human rights perspective, I think we need to look at the rights of the women. The rights of the women during these 16 days of activism. There is sexual gender-based violence out there. Women are going through very many challenges. But how can that woman come out and be responsible? How can we bring out that girl child to be responsible? We need to encourage them to go to school. We need to encourage them to take every opportunity that avails itself to come out and be responsible. And I believe there is nothing impossible. Some of us were also there and came out. So believe that together we can do something to encourage.
So we should continue empowering the girl child, so that they know their rights and rise above it all.
Yes.
So thank you very much, viewers, for this session. I hope you've learned a lot like I have. And see you on the next episode with another great woman.